our future professionals, our students, to be nationalistic, to dream for a better Philippines in the midst of so many negative factors, namely, the first one, security problem; 2, graft and corruption; 3, exodus of our professionals; 4, advice of our parents to look for a better future outside the Philippines; 5th, and most especially, the widening income gap between the rich and poor, between the business owners and employees and top management and staff. It's a very long question.
I still go back to the problem of solving poverty. No? If you solve poverty, you would not have the NPA problem. No? The NPA problem is a question of people with less wanting. I mean, generally, people in the Philippines are good, peaceful people. Sure, in the pre-war days, before you were born, no? The Philippines didn't have the guns. We were not used to having so many guns in the country. But during the war, Second World War, I remember that I was asked after my basic training whether I knew Mindanao or not, and whether I knew Leyte. And at that time, I'd been around Luzon only. I'd not been to Visayas or Mindanao. So I said, I don't know those areas. And later on, of course, I found out the reason why they asked these questions. Because guns were brought in from Australia and landed in the Visayas in Mindanao to give to the guerrillas, which is a rightful thing to do at that time. But after the war, these guns were not taken back, and the net result is that guns were throughout the country. No? So the peace and order problem partly is there, but the main thing is, of course, poverty. No? That if you have something to fight for, if you have a comfortable life, and your children are studying in good schools, you have something, you want peace. But if you have nothing to, if your children are hungry and you don't feel you have any opportunity. I mean, Corey Aquino one time told me that, Wash, did you know that there are many schoolhouses without chairs? I thought if there's a schoolhouse, there must be chairs. You know? But then when we started looking into I started looking into the problem, and I made arrangements with the Philippine Business for Social Progress to send someone into a school when I get requests for assistance. And I was able to have a yearly program to donate thousands of chairs to so many different schools that I was surprised to find some schools that the children were lugging their own chairs from their homes, walking with the chairs to go to school, you know? And so there are some of these things in the 3 Muslim communities that I was working with in Cotabato. When I told them that where the corruption rate for the textbooks that were priced at 90 pesos had gone down to 37, because the 53 pesos was the lagay, that this had gone down. So I said, are you having textbooks? They said no. The distribution system was not there. So the textbooks were in the warehouses in Manila, but the Muslim schools in Mindanao did not get the school textbooks. I mean, these are some of the inefficiencies that would have to be corrected, but I still insist that basic education is the key. No?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Sycip. Our next question is from UPV in Iloilo. Moderator is Professor Celia Parcon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Sycip. Thank you for a very provocative talk. Before I introduce our questioner, I'd like to just Thank you for the opportunity you offer our fresh graduates who get into your company for the first job. 3 of your Sycip partners recently promoted are our own very alumni. Now, our question comes from Professor Ruben Gamala, a faculty member of the College of Management.
Good afternoon, Dr. Sycip. Greetings from Iloilo City. Thank you for your challenges to UP. I think UP has had initiatives worth recognizing, and one of these is the Gurong Pahinungod program, through which fresh UP graduates volunteer to teach in far-flung, underserved schools in remote areas of the country. Besides raising in the volunteers the awareness of the harsh realities of the countryside, the program has also contributed to UP's struggle to deliver basic education, a concrete action on corporate social responsibility. With you coming from the private sector and outside of the UP system, and being a strong advocate and supporter of basic education, my first question is, are you aware of this program? And second, what other recommendations can you make for UP to expand this program to benefit more of the Filipino youth? Marami pong salamat. Magandang hapon.
I'm not specifically aware of the Iloilo program, although on Synergia, you have some offshore islands in Iloilo where we've helped out on specific cases on the basic education, where these islands offshore of the island of Iloilo did need assistance. I also have had some donations, I think, of chairs in Iloilo, and have admired one of your organizations there called TSKI. Because next to basic education, I always think that credit is needed at the bottom group. And one of the most successful microfinance organizations is TSKI. I also remember that the mayor of Haro in Iloilo has been very successful on family planning. And one time when I was there, I met with him and have contributed something to his family planning program in Haro, Iloilo. I think that if I may further comment on Iloilo, because I've been involved lately in some of the problems there, you need more electric power in Iloilo, no? The distribution system can be improved, and we're trying to do our best to assist a power plant to be built there. But again here, the church and the so-called Greenpeace movement have objected to this power plant thing, and, but not offering any alternatives. So if Iloilo wants to develop itself into a more dynamic region, as I think the Lopez family is trying to do, without electric power, there's no way it can be done. No? So this is maybe something that the school can also do to promote Iloilo's future. Thank you.
Thank you. UP Mindanao is now ready with their question. Professor Mike Solidad, please come in.
Good afternoon, Dr. Sycip. I greet you, Madayao, from all of us here in UP Mindanao. You mentioned in your talk about the alumni group as a resource to be tapped for resources. The question is, how can an alumnus contribute to the university other than just by donating hard-earned money? Thank you.
Well, it depends on where the alumni is located, no? If he's located in Manila, maybe he can offer assistance in beautifying the campus. But in most places, when I see UP alumni in America and in different, in Makati and so on, the easiest way to help out is really to donate money for specific projects here. I remember one time I brought back a company that had left the Philippines because of strikes, and I convinced them to come back here. And that time your president was Mr. Abueva, no? And they told me how many electrical engineers they would require. And it turned out that this was more than the whole graduating class of UP. No? So President Abueva said he had to get permission from President Ramos to transfer part of the budget from one department to another and so on. But then when they saw the laboratories that you had at the time, I hope it's better now, but when they saw the laboratories, they were shocked as to how backward it was. No? So they had to donate a lot of equipment and so on. No? But I think the alumni can do a lot of this kind of donations with naming rights to the university. No?
Yes, UP Los Baños is now ready. Professor Manilay, please come in.
Yes, good afternoon, Dr. Sycip. We thank you for your comments on UP and agriculture. Your question on why our Thai graduates were able to improve Thai agriculture perhaps caught my attention. And just to inject some humor into the discussion, I would like to convey the usual answer of UPLB to such a question. UP Los Baños is actually happy to note that Thai agriculture is flourishing, because that means that we taught the Thais well. Now, seriously, I think you will agree that there are other factors that interact with good training to bring about a progressive agricultural economy. Now the question is, in this context, and in the assumption that you have had opportunity to visit other agricultural universities abroad, what areas of specialization do you think UPLB should offer in addition to its current offerings to make it more relevant to the need of the country?
I think that sometimes maybe the businessmen here are too timid. No? To my mind, from all that I hear, you have very, very good